What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hope everybody's doing all right. Attempt number 2. And we're late to the ground, but better late than never. Shout out to everybody going through any silent battles. You are not alone, and sometimes people just do that stuff because they feel like nobody else knows. Don't let anyone bully you into silence, for sure. We're here to talk about some things. We're here to talk about... I see a lot of people on TikTok. There we go. We're good on sound. I see a lot of people on TikTok attempting to really analyze Drake versus Kendrick. And I want to throw my hat in the ring as somebody who has been writing music and sounds all right. And analyzing lyrics. I want to throw my hat in the ring. Jim Jones versus Nas. Jim Jones versus Nas. It's funny because I did a little bit of an experiment on TikTok. You cannot talk about Nas, boy. And let me tell you something. I'm a Nas fan. I study them all. I really take this music thing serious. Like how people who hoop study the field. I really take this whole hip hop analysis thing quite seriously. So I did an experiment. We'll get to Drake versus Kendrick analysis, and we'll get to some other things too, as as the show continues. But Jim Jones and Nas, the claim was put forth. Jim Jones kind of brought it on himself. Oh, we got action. Jim Jones kind of brought it on himself. But oh, that's your people. Hey, I come in peace. This is sketchy because you never know how it's gonna go. Uh-oh. Drive. Hey, you better drive. You better drive. You better drive. Hey. I'm hopping out on you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm out. I need to find some greens or some purples or something like that. I seen this car was down. They'll be straight. I was gonna try to. Oh snap! Where is it at? Oh, I'm going for that. Where is it? Okay, so Jim Jones versus Nas. There's a lot of people analyzing it. And Jim Jones decided to talk about Nas, and they did not like that. And then I decided to talk about Nas. For anyone who watched my Wrestling Empire stream, and something strange happened. Later we'll edit that in. So I'm gonna say this right now because nobody's talking about it. Today, Jim Jones is a better writer than Nas. And I'm gonna say this, and I already, I hear what people are saying in my ear already. I hear it already. How dare you? I know how crazy of a claim it is. Here's what I'll say. Did I get it? It would be so funny if I got this. Where is it? Oh, somebody got it. Oh no, we gotta go. We gotta go now. I'm not about to try to fight him. Does he see us? What's he doing? I don't want no problem. But my claim is today, Jim Jones, from just purely a technical aspect, would win against Nas in a battle. And here's why I say this. Nas has the advantage of a cold flow. What do I mean by that? He automatically raps intricately and double time. He automatically does. Jim has the disadvantage of being slightly behind the beat, like Talib Kweli. If you don't know what I'm saying, Jim's delivery can sometimes almost sound kind of spoken wordy. And you do need to be on beat. But if we're just taking away, if we're just judging on technical ability, Jim Jones is really doing some amazing things out here. Okay, so one of my claims. Who writes about politics more in depth today? Jim Jones or Nas? No, you know what? Before we even get to that, here's something else that I did, an experiment on TikTok. I said, today Jim Jones is outwriting Nas in a battle. If we're talking about a battle rap setting, he's outwriting Nas. 40 comments, 50 comments, 60 comments, all these people commenting, right? I gotta get gas. And so you know what I said? Quote me a Nas lyric right now. And I can do that. I listen to Nas. My comfort give you discomfort. You know what I'm saying? When I said that in the other game I was playing, somebody ran in and tried to jump me. It was crazy. Quote me a Nas lyric right now for all you Nas fans listening now or in the future without Googling it. Let's make it even more interesting. Quote me a cold Nas punchline right now without looking it up. See? A lot of people cannot actually quote Nas. And I'm going to hop in the whip and I'll actually get my phone and I'll Google some stuff. I just got to make sure everything's chill. I'm trying to podcast and play. All right, so I'm going to get on my phone real quick. Hey, y'all watch out for me, all right? Let's actually look up some lyrics here, because a lot of people, oh dang, we're going to have to move in a minute. Oh shoot. No. Dang. A lot of people, what they do in hip hop is they will pick an artist that they believe represents who they are. And this can be found in all forms of like art and literature. They'll pick something. I think there's a technical term for it. But they'll make it seem like they're an expert on something. Racists do this about black folks. Racist people be like, I hate black people. But then suddenly will claim to know how we think, or sometimes even like pretend to be us online. It's pretty weird. But what people will do is they'll say, I'm a Nas fan. He's the best rapper ever. And then when you ask them, quote something off of KD 1, 2, or 3, or Magic 1, 2, or 3. That is a cold punchline. They can't do it. They can't do it. And I see this person up here. Did they fly off or something like that? Well, I'm about to park up and look up some Nas lyrics. We just gotta find a chill place to pod real quick. I think we should be straight over here. Oh, we got action. Hold on. We got action. Break yourself, fool. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna look this up in a minute. Let me just. It's a little hot over here, but I'm gonna look up a Nas lyric real quick. Oh, here comes somebody. Hold on. It ain't safe yet. Alright, I'm about to try to look up a Nas lyric. Hold on. We might have action. I'm trying to podcast at the same time, but it's crazy out here. I think we straight. Alright, we straight. He said, "Cause you are not a king if you can't come out a thing that you got yourself in. Claiming nobody helped you. The stupidest part of Africa produced blacks that created algebra. True facts. Imagine if you knew that as a child, bruh. That's super cold. That's just super cold. We just look, and it's cool. It's cool. I don't know about calling like any part of Africa stupid, but my point is, it was well rhymed and educational, right? But that's not a punch. That's not a punch. Now let's find the Jim Jones line. Now, one thing I will say is it's a little tough to find. I really like "Election" by Jim Jones. I really like "Election" by Jim Jones. Let's do this. He said, "Prezion, we're approaching the next elect." Oh, snap. Hold on. Dang, man, I can't. Ooh! Very nice. This gives me time to look up this Jim Jones lyric. Hold on. We'll spectate for a minute. Very nice. Very nice. All right, so let's look up these Nas lyrics real quick, or Jim Jones lyrics. And I want to cut this down a little. While I want to. They don't let you get in the menu. Oh, I was about to say. Let's cut that down a little bit more. Just a little bit more. All right, so Jim Jones. Let me see. He said, let me get this out of here. He said, "The Lord said to come as you are. He protects babies and fools. You safer the dumber you are. Place of worship, so please leave your guns in the car. Rejoice and put your hands up like you was coming to spar." Come on, man. Come on. You got to give Jim Jones his credit for that, man. Come on. People be so caught up in like pushing whatever narrative is popular to push that they be hating for real. I was looking for somebody online to go bar for bar with. So look, all right, so let's go back and find a clean Nas lyric. Nas, KD3 punchline. You know, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT just so we could do this. Hey E, could you find the best punchlines from King's Disease 3 by Nas? All right, I got my ChatGPT looking it up. Okay, here we go. Car 85. Sometimes I ride to escape. Backseat driver, fire up the vape. Told my jeweler, ice the face. The watch looked like a frozen lake. All right, so let's go back to Jim. Let's simulate it, all right? Jim, the Lord said to come as you are. He protects babies and fools. You safer the dumber you are. Place of worship, so please leave your guns in the car. Rejoice and put your hands up like you was coming to spar. Now, who had the punches that hit the most right there? Who's come on, man. Come on. Look, I'm gonna do it again. I want to go bar for bar with this. Nas said, sometimes I ride to escape. Backseat driver, fire up the vape. Told my jeweler, ice the face. The watch looked like a frozen lake. Jimmy said, the Lord said to come as you are. He protects babies and fools. You safer the dumber you are. Place of worship, so please leave your guns in the car. Rejoice and put your hands up like you was coming to spar. Come on, y'all. Oh, snap. Come on, y'all. Now, every time I end up talking about Nas, something happened. Come on, y'all. Jim Jones 1-0. And look, this isn't fair. I'm playing around before I am a Nas fan. But My point is, Jay-Z said it. Do you fools listen to music or do you just skim through it? We need real rappers to analyze bars and hold these artists to task, because I want to hear Nas be his best. There's another thing that I want to address before I get into Drake versus Kendrick. There is an element of anti-black behavior within the culture of hip-hop, which was created by black people. And it is because labels have pushed the music to the mainstream, and so now everybody feels like they're an expert. Why do I find this thing everywhere I go? Everyone feels like they're an expert. No, man. No, man. You got to make your bones in the culture by practicing these elements. And the fifth element of hip-hop is knowledge. Knowledge of the culture, knowledge of self, whatever you want to say. But you cannot sit up here and tell me any rapper is better than anybody if you can't quote any bars. I won't entertain it. It's ridiculous. And we have to start holding people accountable for stuff like this. For stuff like saying anybody is the best rapper if you can't quote a simple lyric. Because there's a lot of people out here who are, uh-oh, that's somebody. That's not smart. There's a lot of people who are out here who are hiding behind smart rappers to seem smart. There's a lot of people out here who are hiding behind smart rappers to seem smart. No, let's get to the bars. All right, so look. Uh-oh. What we got? Let's get to the bars, you know what I mean? Superman's call. Where? I mean, I'm close by. Everyone's going for it. Everyone's gonna go for it. I see it up there. I don't know if that's a good idea. No, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't want to be first to get destroyed by Clark Kent. All right, give me a minute. I'm gonna find this. I want to go for Superman's call, but there's already a bunch of people in front of me. All right. Let me park up and spark up. This looks like a decent place. Dang, psych, I was wrong. I could have got that low key. I want 2 cars though. Alright. This is a nice little spot to pod. It is the briefcase of patience. I am not going to do that today. But one day we will. Have y'all ever tried this, the briefcase of patience? The suitcase of patience? Man, that's crazy. It takes like 10 minutes to open for real. Alright. I don't see... You know what? I'm about to hop in the whip and do this. Because you never know what's going on out here. Alright, I'm about to get on my phone. I'm about to get on my phone for a minute, alright? Alright, Nas versus Jim Jones. And to make it easier for Nas, to make it better for Nas, I will just pick another one from an entirely different song. Now there was one where did he say? He said America's a baby. I don't want to say it wrong. King's disease. They respect you when you ice cold. Get you the gold. They then re-respect you when you heat up again like Wade in the glow. There's one. There's one. He said, how you think I've been overcoming these odds? My enemy, this is Jim Jones. How you think I've been overcoming these odds? My enemies ain't been running from me, stupid. They've been running from God. As I spit my psalms over these chronicles, I done dove off the yacht to the bottom. I saw the barnacles. That's right, I even dealt with the bottom feeders. I've been broken night, and mama, she didn't know how to feed us. You see what I'm saying? All right, I'm gonna get back. Well, we gonna find some more Nas. We gonna find some more Nas, just to be fair. Can you find the most punchline heavy song in King's Disease 3? They're saying it's Michael and Quincy. Bring up the lyrics to Michael and Quincy. We're going to get to the bottom of this. I don't see anybody. Like Quincy on the trumpet, Hit Boy on the drum kit. Nasty like Mike on the vocals, I overdub it. Moonwalking, smooth criminal talking. Know some money getting thugs that could buy the Beatles pub. Money getting thugs that could buy the Beatles pub. That was that we got that from Nas. But maybe some people out there are beginning to see the point I'm trying to prove. Nas, we might have to move for real, because this is looking kind of crazy. Nas automatically just has an amazing flow. He automatically has it. If you can rap like da 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 da, that was a crazy jump, just kind of casually. I just want to acknowledge that before I continue. But Nas can rap like that just normally, you know what I mean? But a speedy flow, if you really listen to hip hop, whether you rap fast or slow, finally, that's over. Whether you rap fast or slow, it's about being technically proficient. And here's what casual hip-hop fans do. They will just go to the person who raps the fastest. And because they have that speed, it's like their punchlines are almost exaggerated. I'm choosing to help who I want to help. I'm just causing problems over here. Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah, whenever you listen to someone who's rapping fast, it's like their punchlines are over exaggerated. Dang, I'm sorry you had to see this, yo. Hey, you come with me, man. I know it's been crazy, man. You can just come with me. I hate he had to see that. Oop, that's a Kamehameha. I will be. Oh, snap. How do I use this Kamehameha? That worked. Alright, we need to go. Because I can't even. Let me see. We need to go. Where's my car? I just Kamehameha somebody. We gotta go. I'm sorry I got you wrapped up in this life, little creature. I'm sorry. We gotta go. We gotta go. I just Kamehameha somebody. We gotta go. I'm looking for food, something. Uh-oh. It's Deadpool. He had to reload. It's freaking Deadpool. Sometimes just seeing that it's Deadpool was like, oh snap. He's a professional, you know? I really like the surf cubes, but I don't want to miss gauntlets. I could give up on that. I don't really care about that. No. Oh, here. You, get over here. Hey. Anytime now. Kendrick, so yeah, so the fast flow conversation leads perfectly into my point about The speedy flow. I saw people on TikTok. Let me get back to the car, but I saw people on TikTok attempting to really break down Kendrick versus Drake. And I hope some of you understand my point better with this Jim Jones versus Nas thing. I think that Nas has had the coldest flow in the world for such a long time that he kind of has gotten a little lazy, maybe. He's got the coldest flow ever. Now, I did hear his response to Jim Jones. I did hear it. But again, if you picture someone in a battle setting, I'm gonna keep saying it. Jim Jones can definitely hold his own against Nas. He definitely can. And anyone saying that Jim Jones is complete trash, I would say you don't really listen to hip hop. Jim Jones to me is somebody who was like, you ever heard of the Onion Knight in video games? Jim Jones used to start getting, people bring up Max B. Jim Jones's ghostwriter was Max B. They had a falling out. They fell out. And what is this? I would like to know what the purpose of that is. But that is what I need right there. So I'm going to drink that. Jim Jones was not the strongest rapper. He wasn't. I believe if you listen to the backstories with Cam and things like that, you hear them talking about how Jim Jones had the free crib. His grandmother passed away. He had the free crib, and they were staying over there. And I believe they said they showed Jim how to rap. I thought they said it was Cam and Mace with the deal first, and Cam's cousin Bloodshed. Bloodshed, rest in peace, passed away. Unfortunate story for a lot of crews in hip-hop. Cam's cousin passed away, but I believe that was his cousin. Bloodshed passes away. They continue on, but I thought that Jim, they said that Jim learned to rap from the people surrounding him, and he used to be called Jomo back then. He wasn't the strongest rapper. He wasn't. Since this El Capo, not to be confused with Capo, since this El Capo run, Jim Jones has been holding his own. He's been writing some very, very clever things. And I think that it is disingenuous to the culture to downplay that. I really do. The tree blocked it. That was sloppy on my part, but I mean, hey, what are you gonna do? All right, I didn't know how strong the Kamehameha was on here, so that was a good way to test. I didn't know. It cannot go through trees. We learned that, ladies and gentlemen. In the anime, it can go through buildings and go through mountains. In Fortnite, it cannot go through trees. It's not a thing. We need a vehicle, is what we need. We need a car. So in this Kendrick versus Drake, the double flow bias and the superstar bias is in full swing. Nobody is analyzing what these people are saying. Nobody's analyzing it. Everyone's just nobody's. You know what else is interesting? Nobody that I'm seeing out here when this Drake versus Kendrick debate starts off is looking at it through the lens of hip hop is a representation of the black experience and of the human experience as well. To me, if we're comparing two artists, yes, we have to talk about factors like flow. Yes, we have to talk about, I don't like to talk about industry accolades because those can be bought. But we can, if we're talking about two industry artists, we can do legacy. You know, we can talk about the legacy of those artists. But if we're going to talk skill, if we're going to talk credibility, first of all, you got to separate the writers from the non-writers. You have to separate how people move within the culture. And before we even have this conversation, Drake has downgraded himself in a lot of ways. And really, if you really want to get technical, you really shouldn't be having conversations about hip hop and about like who's the better rapper if somebody has ghostwriters. And if you are not including that, then you just don't want to be, there are certain circles, like we're talking about, I came up with rappers, people who sat in the studio and would Like the great poets of the past, you sit in there and you think about the line and you think about what you want to say and you think about this and you put effort into it. That's what I'm talking about, the Langston Hughes line. Studying Edgar Allan Poe, studying limericks, studying sonnets, Shakespearean rhyming techniques, ABAB, AABB, AAAA, that kind of stuff. So if we're talking about people as artists, now I'm not going to talk about the Pulitzer Prize. Look, to make it fair, I'm not going to talk about Drake's accolades, and I'm not going to talk about Kendrick's accolades. Dang, someone is over there attempting something, but that is a car. That's 2 cars, and I do need a car. Let's go for it. Why don't we just go for it? They got the Kamehameha too. I'll help out. Somebody's got a bunch of Kamehameha. Cool. Dang, they flew all the way over here. Caught one. I need health. Wait. Oh, I got that. Yeah, I got that though. Okay. Hey, I got that though. I don't care. Final 3, it says. Is there anything I want from that? I'll take that. Somebody left their car. But yeah, so I won't talk about their industry accolades. Dang. Froze up. That was nice though. I won't talk about their industry accolades. I won't. So let's get into some of the attributes that people are debating. I'm telling you, this is from a writer's perspective. I don't want to talk about what awards they got or any of that stuff. I'm not talking about that stuff. Okay, so first of all, Drake shouldn't be in this conversation if we're having a real writer's conversation because he uses ghostwriters. I'm just going to say that. You can get mad at me for it, whatever you want to say. He shouldn't be in this conversation. Let's have the conversation though. Flow is one of the things I hear people saying. Between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, who has the better flow? I'm going to say Drake, actually. I'm going to say Drake. I don't know why they be lying, but this, not that inspiring. Bank accounts, I don't know, look like they're ready for early retirement. So look, yeah, I got it. Like, Kendrick has the speedy flow. But I'll ask you the same question that I would ask people running up telling me that Nas is the greatest. Please quote me a cold Kendrick Lamar bar right now. No, I can. I am a sinner who's probably gonna sin again. He said, I can feel the changes. I can feel the new people around me that want it. See, I can do that. To me, that's amazing. But the same thing happens with Nas and Kendrick. When you isolate the bars, outside of the fast flow, man, it's the coldness goes away a little bit. It does. I agree, different. Now, if we're all talking about Not Like Us, obviously we can talk about Not Like Us. We're talking about other bodies of work, but okay, you have to include Not Like Us. That A minor line, hey, now there's a whole group of people who are trying to create another not like us. Everyone is trying to capitalize on that sound. A lot of people are. Not everyone, but a lot of people are trying to capitalize on that sound. But as far as flow, I would say Drake. But I have to have the caveat that that is not Drake's flow. That is whoever writes the verses flow. Now, I do believe that Drake, as of late, has started writing his own verses again. There's a little low energy lately. But as far as flow, I would say Drake. I would say Drake. And I'll be real, I started listening to Drake way before. If you study hip hop and really have been in this thing for like, more than 5-10 years or whatever, then you would be aware of Drake. If you're just a fan of the culture, you would be a Drake fan before a Kendrick fan, because Drake was there first. Drake introduced Kendrick to a lot of people in the mainstream, and just, that Buried Alive verse, you have to, a lot of people, this is what makes me a little irritated. Like, if you want to talk to me about Kendrick versus Drake, do you know about J-Rock and touring with Tech 9 on Kendrick's side? Do you even know about that? Do you know how J-Rock was signed first and then Kendrick? Do you know about any of that stuff? Do you know that Drake introduced us to Kendrick? A lot of us. Now, whoa, I hear the Kendrick fans starting to go crazy. But I think you should have to qualify yourself. Like, if I'm talking about basketball, do you know how many rings Jordan got? If I'm talking about basketball, do you know certain names? Stoudemire, Nash, Barkley, Iverson. I don't even follow basketball that heavy, but in order to have these conversations, I feel like you should know. If you're going to talk about pop music, do you know what artists use their music to own parts of their label? Do you know how Michael Jackson was owning parts of Sony? Do you know about Prince's Music Vault? And I like to consider myself a bit of a different perspective on things, because I do have over 10 years of industry experience. I've seen how things move behind the scenes. I have. Up close. I've seen how labels will give artists cars. I've seen how most people think that artists just blow up. Like, I saw people saying, man, I can't wait till so-and-so gets back to wearing these kind of clothes. That was the best music that he... Nah, bro, it's marketing budgets. They just promoted him while he had those kind of clothes on, bro. It's all marketing budgets. There's very rare, spontaneous, like, multi-city tours coming up from organic experiences happening anymore. So, do you know about these things? I like to find out what people's credentials are. So, if you're gonna have a Drake versus Kendrick conversation, to me, if you're just completely discounting either one of these artists, you shouldn't be having this conversation, because you don't have respect for the culture. Number one, if you're just discounting both either Drake or Kendrick and saying that they're trash, just like in Jim Jones versus Nas, if you're just saying that Jim Jones is trash and his music is totally trash, then to me, you're not even somebody that I would have a conversation with, because you don't even know about what these people have contributed to the culture. To be honest, you don't even have any idea. Just like in politics, if you're just saying Trump is trash or Biden is trash and you can't list any policies, then you're just a slave to the emotion of the moment. You're not informed on the cultures that you're speaking on. So I got to get all this stuff out of the way. I would give flow to Drake. 1-0 flow to Drake. I would say that. If you want to talk about presence in the culture, you have to give, to me, that's 2-0 Drake. Presence in the culture? Like, I was in high school in 08. I remember people, I was graduating in high school in 08. I remember being 19 after I graduated. I remember, I don't know if the timeline was exactly right, but I remember when So Far Gone just dropped, and I was in the homie car and we was just riding around the city listening to So Far Gone. That was a cultural moment. So Far Gone. Drake has cultural moments. Now listen, here's a debate that we can have. What did he say in those cultural moments? Because to be honest, anything that he would have said over the Houston, Atlanta, Vegas beat was gonna be historic. He had the Wayne cosign, he had the beats, he had everything. I've got to be unstoppable. A lot of people don't even know about that, you know. What did Drake say in those moments? That's debatable. But his presence in the culture, that's 2-0 Drake. Drake has been here for quite some time. But here's where I think the battle starts to turn. Message and in college, they talked about poetry specifically, like the written word and short stories and stuff. They talked about it like a conversation. Same thing with books. They talked about it like a conversation. And you as a writer are supposed to determine what you're going to say. Like me as a podcaster, I have to determine what I want to say. I want to provide in-depth analysis, since a lot of podcasts are not doing this right now, even podcasts that rappers are supposed to be, you know, I won't get into that, but in-depth actual analysis of the culture, not just emotion-based. We're not just going to be saying, oh man, that melody sounds cool. No, what did they say? What did they actually say? Oh snap. Okay, I gotta get out. Oh no. Dang. What did they actually say? And the critique of Drake that a lot of people have, and that I have as well, is that he hasn't matured. And it's true. He is black and Jewish, and you don't hear him really talk about black or Jewish issues at all. You definitely won't talk about Israel and Palestine. It's crazy how they've made that like they've made speaking on active attempted genocides like a real issue. Like people are really picking sides. Like, it's crazy to me, a lot of this stuff. But yeah, Drake doesn't speak about any world issues. I will say, through him telling his story, he does give relatable moments. We've all had moments with women that are like, oh man, shoot, I'm going through one right now. I'm telling you, I've been going through one for some years. And let me tell you what Drake is good at documenting. When a good thing goes bad, it's not the end of the world. It's just the end of the world. Hey, shout out to everybody out there who is getting along with their exes, with the mothers of their children. Shout out to everybody who's really doing well in those areas. You have a blessing. You are blessed if you are getting along with the mother of your children, or with your significant other, or with anybody in your circumference as far as life. Salute to y'all. You know what I mean? Drake does, but look, even okay, so one thing that a lot of people can relate to, his situation with his pops. Drake is very transparent about that. Kendrick talks about his family as well. But yeah, I think where Kendrick has Drake is just addressing world issues. Content, describing, you know, who are you for real? As a lot of people, I'm in my 30s, you know what I'm saying? Drake is in his 30s. They're on the way to 40, some of these people. So it is kind of crazy if you're just talking about going to the club and empty relationships and all this stuff, and you don't really have anything going for you at 30. After a certain point, you know, the younger generation, or people who are casuals, a lot of times, they just go, oh, that sounds good. They're not thinking about, hey, this person is rapping about Xannies every song. Is he at least hydrating? They're not thinking about that. Because a lot of people out here have not experienced these things. Like, once you experience withdrawal from certain things, you talk about them in a different way if you have a brain in your head. If you're trying to just front, man, who is this? Then your conversation will sound different, you know? And so I think that's where Kendrick has Drake. He's definitely got him as far as topics and what he covers. Okay, so let's get into another one. Punchlines, one of my favorites. Between Drake and Kendrick, who has better punchlines? Are you ready? I would say Drake. I would say Drake, with the caveat that they are not his punchlines. So default-wise, if I'm being technical, I would have to say Kendrick, because Drake has ghostwriters. But let's, just for the sake of this conversation, to make it equal, let's excuse the fact that Drake has ghostwriters and just talk about it. Who has better punchlines? I would say Drake. I really would. He said you could probably load 100 guns with bullets that fire backwards and still wouldn't lose a single rapper. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not gonna act like that's not crazy. That's crazy. We might have to get out of here. Woo! Hold on, I gotta focus real quick. If you hear me be quiet, it's because I'm actually thinking for real. I should leave, I think. I'm out of there. I'm trying to see if I'm being followed. I definitely feel like Drake has better punchlines. But I'm going to get a car. And just like Nas versus Jim Jones, I'm going to talk about Drake's punchlines versus Kendrick's punchlines. Because I also think the same thing that happens between Jim Jones and Nas is happening with Drake and Kendrick. I definitely think so. If you claim that Kendrick Lamar has better punchlines than Drake, then say it right now. If you're watching this right now, if you claim that Kendrick Lamar has better punchlines than Drake, then say it right now without Googling it. Say Kendrick's punchline that's better right now. I'd like to hear it. Just say it. Have you said it yet? It's a little quiet. Do you need a minute? Do you need to search it? Do you need to look it up? Okay. Do you get my point? Now, I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on, hey, it's a crypto tree. I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on all of Drake's lyrics at the moment either. So, that could be fair. Tell me to say a Drake punchline right now. Is that a world tour or your girls tour? Yeah, that's, hey, there you go. I got one. I remembered it. See? He said, shout out to all my boss, to wife and niggas. Make sure you hit him with the prenup. Dang, tell that boy to ease up. I did another one. You still haven't did about the other one, Fred. Uh-oh. Dang it. Okay, this gives me a perfect opportunity to look up some Kendrick Lamar punchlines. We're going to look up GNX, all right? I got another Drake punchline just because for some reason I remember him. He said, she pretty but rough, pretty but ghetto, just like Virginia Beach. That's what he said. I want to grab a throttle and something that you believe. You put something that you believe. I swapped it and made you go factory. You know, you put some pain in me. I want to go back to the major leagues. She wanna grab on the throttle. Oh, sorry, those aren't punchlines. All right. Let's do Squabble Up by Kendrick Lamar. Let's see if we can find a punch. He said, woke up looking for the broccoli, high key, keep a horn on me, that Kamasi. See, that could be a line. Okay. So here's what, okay. So look, I did have to look it up. He said, high key, keep a horn on me like Kamasi. Kamasi Washington is a tenor saxophone player. And he said, high key, keep a horn on me that Kamasi. That's a punch. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty good. Let me see if I can find another one like this. IP, ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off in my feet. Buddy pass, bet I get him splashed till he hydrated. Bounce out, know he spooked town, eyes dilated. I got the money and the power, both gyrating. He said, what the? I got hits, I got bucks, I got new paper cuts, I got friends, I got foes, but they all sit in ducks. Hit this Turk, get the cracking, double back like a deluxe. 50 deep, but it ain't deep enough. F a plea, there it go, beat him up. Falling from a money tree and it grow through the months. Spit a loogie at the camera, speed off, yeah, it's us. He said, thunk, 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 baby, rocking it. Quid bro quo, what you want, cause I'm watching it. Work on the flow, let him know, cause you clocking it. But he won't go, but I know, cause I know that he popping it. It was wolf tickets on sale till I silenced it. Pipe down young. These some whole other politics. Chick with him and some chick with him. That's a lot of chick. Don't hit him. He got kids with him. My apologies. Ghetto child out. It was Black and Miles with the smearing off. Okay, so he's not punching super crazy, but that does sound pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds pretty cool. It does sound pretty cool. Kendrick, you do have to Google some things, and I'll leave that open to interpretation. If I have to Google your bar, who's the stronger puncher? If I did not know about Kamasi Washington, I didn't know that. Once you look it up, it's a punch, but that's up for debate too. I look at it from a battle rap setting. This is why I gave it to. I said that Drake had. Pause. I almost said that. I said that Drake had better punches than Kendrick because. And look, here's what Kendrick has the ability to do. He'll say something, and then when you go back, you'll be like, oh, okay. So I almost said Drake has better punchlines because you can understand his punchlines like easy. But then the inner lyricist in me said, the intellectual in me said, oh, so just because it's on the surface, that means it's better. So, I don't know about that one. Let me think. I gotta think about that one. I still would say Drake, because I'm going from a battle rap setting. But if we take off the battle rap criteria, I really wouldn't be mad if someone who was very well versed in Kendrick could prove that point. Because I'm sure GNX, I didn't know about that Kamasi Washington line. I'm sure there's a lot of gems like that on there for real. But I would still say Drake at this time. So that's the kind of analysis that I would like to see happen anytime people are talking about the culture. There's a very strong anti-black element involved in some of these Drake fans, I'm noticing. There's also a very strong anti-intellectual element involved in some of these debates with Kendrick. Definitely, for sure. So I like to avoid some of that. You can tell some of these people, look, not one time in my analysis did you hear me say that either one of these artists did not contribute something valuable. Let me make this clear. Either one of these black men, you did not hear me say that either one of these black men did not contribute something valuable to the culture. You didn't hear me say it. You didn't hear me say it. You did not. There's a lot of people out here who are masking anti-black sentiment with, oh, I'm just a Drake fan. I'm just a Drake fan and I hate Kendrick. To me, like I said before we got into this, if you are sitting there saying any artist within the realm of hip-hop is worthless, is useless, is just total garbage, to me, I can't have a serious hip-hop debate with you. Because you don't care about the culture of hip-hop. you wanna discount and discredit, and I don't respect that. I don't respect that. Dang, I should have hit the gas station. Nice little gap. So honestly, I guess you can't call me a Kendrick stan, because in Kendrick versus Drake, I'm saying Drake kind of, once you take away, oh no, I'm just gonna hide. I'm just gonna hide. We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here. All right, he's not going, but he's not going by me. No fuel. Where is he? I see the marker. Where is he? He's getting closer. Maybe he won't notice us. All right, he doesn't see us. All right, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. We have to. Talking about damage him and get a boon. I'm not trying to do that. Dang. That's the level of analysis I'd like to see, though. And that's all my topics, for real. That's all my topics. As far as hip hop, I don't want to do too much here. I hope everybody listening is all right. I said it at the beginning, but if you are having any silent battles, if you feel like life is just jumping you right now, you are not alone. You are not alone. It is crazy. I've been over here talking to God like, hey, can you ease up, please? Can you ease up, please? So I hear you. I hear you. I like to remind myself that this is not life. This is life within colonized society. All right? All right. I just got to say it, okay? This is not real life, okay? This is life living on land where 65 million Native Americans were slaughtered. And why do I say that? One, because it's crazy and messed up, and I'm also part Native American. Two, because any system that can sweep the rug over that, any system that can make jokes about that, any government that can act like that's normal, any government that could sanction jokes about things like that, or about things like slavery, or any Bill Burr did a great take on the word woke that super surprised me. Any society that can take a word from black culture that means to be awake and aware and turn it into a cuss word. Any society that can take the word diversity, equality, and inclusion and turn it into a cuss word probably will not care about your mental health. The shows and movies that they promote might be a little bit toxic. What they say as far as how you're supposed to earn a living and take care of yourself might be a little bit toxic. What they call family values might not be so great for you. What they call love might not be love. So I'd like you to consider this. Maybe you're not crazy. Maybe you are just reacting normally to a system that is draining you dry spiritually and emotionally. Maybe. There's a reason why everybody you see, not everybody, I don't like to speak in general terms, but there's a reason why there's so many people who are single. As someone who's dipped my toes in the dating pool lately, it's bad out here. It's bad out here. Selfishness. I noticed this thing. Me and my son call it the rush. where people are enjoying doing the worst thing possible, and people feel like they really can do whatever and say whatever they want. You got to protect your peace, even if it seems extreme, man. Even if other people don't like get it, or maybe are waiting to use it against you. You ever been around someone who has narcissistic tendencies, and the more you try to get away, they just seem to come up with things to cause issues? Has that ever happened to you? Sometimes you do have to just say, hey, I'm not with this. And sometimes the best strategy is to keep it straight, like business. If you're living with somebody who is toxic, sometimes the best strategy is just, hey, what do we have to do to make sure that this machine runs? What do we have to do to make sure that whatever needs to happen happens? What do we have to do to make sure that whatever, keep the machine running needs to happen? And then other than that, then we need to just keep it separate until we can go our separate ways. If you're in a relationship with somebody toxic, there comes a point where you have to think about, man, do we really need to be together if this is going to be unhealthy? You see people on social media romanticizing being in unhealthy interactions. And that's something that I've been dealing with. People who romanticize unhealthy lifestyles and life choices. Arguing about unhealthy lifestyles. I'm about to get off here in a minute, but arguing about unhealthy lifestyle. Like, for instance, if you know somebody is doing something unhealthy and they're constantly trying to argue with you about it, eventually you just got to be like, no matter what, I'm not going to argue about this. I'm not going to argue about it. It's not going to happen. I refuse to let myself argue about this. I'm not going to let this happen. No matter what, you have to protect your peace. And so I encourage you to do that now or in the future, man. If you're dealing with somebody who's toxic, protect your peace. You can't do anything if you are out of sorts, messed up, mentally not in a good space. You can't help anybody. So sometimes you just got to detach, handle your business still. Handle your business, make sure the business is handled. But yeah, that's the deal. That's the advice I give to myself. Shoot. All right, let's see what we got. I use something called the method on here. Let's see if it works. Actually, I won't even say that. That's hyping it. Hyping it like a hyphen it. Uh-oh. They're hyping it like a hyphen it. Where's that med kit? Nice. Nice, nice. That's interesting. Why you gotta be sushi? Is that crazy or am I tripping? Sushi? Sushi? Maybe I'm tripping. If you see me just randomly switch directions, I'm using the method. I was like, did I calculate the fall damage enough for that? I don't know. Is this just where I was? Oh no. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Who was that? The tree. The tree saved me. Shout out to God and the method and me remembering that tree. It's just Kamehamehas galore up here. Uh-oh. Yeah, they earned that one. A stumbling, fumbling. All right, y'all, I'm out. I'm gonna go clip this up and go get some money and go get some food, man. I'm out.